Today I'm going to replace the seal on our iDRY vacuum kiln. We've had this kiln, let's see, this summer, I think it'll be 3 years we had this now, and it's been a great machine. Absolutely love it. One thing though that they have redesigned is this seal. So we have a hard rubbery plastic. It almost feels like plastic, but it's a really, really dense rubber. And this makes a seal around the perimeter of the kiln because the kiln is under a vacuum. And if it's not sealed, it's just gonna leak air and it will never work. But it's gotten to the point we've known for a while it was leaking on the seal across the top side. And I just been procrastinating on getting it replaced and fixed. Actually, what I did is use some silicone, the jankety silicone. But I tell you what, it worked for a little while, but it's time to replace it. But iDRY now has a whole new type of seal. It's now a silicone, I think, I don't remember. It's some sort of more pliable type seal. It's still hard, but more pliable. Problem with this stuff is it doesn't, the memory don't seem very good. Like through the last 2 years, it's smashed and it stayed smashed and it's not, you know, re-expanding back to the surface of the metal, because this is the flat surface it's going to seal up against, and it just isn't pressing there anymore. So I'm gonna get this torn out and replaced with the new silicone one. I think they said it's silicone, I'm not sure. It definitely feels a lot more pliable. Let's get this pulled apart. It's kind of a sealant in this channel. So that just pulls off nice and neat right there. You can see there's a channel and it's kind of like a flat block that it just presses in there. So they gave me a new sealant for the new one. So we got to pull this out first. There's the silicone. You see how I tried to apply some silicone over that. And it kind of worked, but it only works so good. So what iDRY includes in their new seal kit is, again, this new red, much more flexible rubber seal. And then they come with, you know, your sealant, RTV sealant, and then a nice little hand miter cutter, and then some gloves. Now, the reason I was procrastinating on forever to get this done is because it is kind of an expensive kit. They had it on sale on their website, plus they gave me 10% off, but with shipping, it was still like 430 bucks for a chunk of rubber. So you can see why I was trying to get it lasting as long as I could with that silicone sealant up there. But this is what we're gonna do. And you'll see on the other original one, they actually have it mitered cut, so they overlay each other with a miter, and I'm assuming it helps make sure it seals up well where they butt joint together. All right, so the first step, we'll get this pulled off, and I'm a short little guy. I'm only 5'7", so I got to use a ladder up there at the top. But once you get it started, it really just starts pulling out pretty easy. Kind of misleading right now. It looks pretty pliable. That's because we just opened the kiln after running 2 weeks, so it's pretty flexible. When the kiln gets shut down though, it gets pretty stiff. And I'm gonna show you the difference here between the two. So this is my old seal, and there's that miter I was talking about. But this old seal, you can actually see through age. I don't know if the shape really shows, but it's square, but it actually kind of mushroomed. You can kind of see that seam. It's a mushrooming where when the door press, it compressed against that edge, and it's really flat. The surface is flat now, so it's compared to the new stuff. So you can see that it just wore down flat, and it's permanently flat. This new stuff has a nice contour. You can see it's not mushroomed out. And supposedly this new material they use is more pliable. I don't know if you can kind of see, I can sort of squish it with my finger. This stuff, I can't squish at all. Like I said, it feels like hard plastic. This more feels like a rubber. So supposedly they said that this new seal is gonna last forever, because this old one only went for about 3 years. So I sure hope so. For $400 and some, I don't wanna have to do that every 3 years. So there you can really see the difference. Look at that height difference. This is just compressed down to nothing. So there's just no more extra movement to compress back into the door of the kiln. So that's what it looks like before. This is just nice new stuff, much more pliable. I can actually squish this with my finger, and this stuff, it's hard like plastic. So I'm sure this is gonna last a whole lot better. I'm gonna get this new one mitered up to the same angle, and then I'm gonna trim the other end to length after I get one side put on. Let's see. So really, I think I can just pretty much just kind of eyeball it. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't have to be perfect as long as the angles match up, and this old one's kind of fighting me. Let's stay flat. Okay, get those bottom edges. There we go. All right, so now get that angled up just right and square, and man, and I can already feel the way it's cutting. Look at that, it just cut so nice. Let me go up close. This is definitely a more pliable product. See how it really just slices through. Now as compared to the old rubber, I'm sure this tool probably cuts pretty good regardless, but yeah, I can definitely feel it. I mean, it has pliability to it, but it's definitely a hard plastic type rubber. And I can see why they would have originally used this harder stuff, because, you know, it's taken a lot of compression and a lot of service, so they wanted something durable, but actually in hindsight, it just smashed out permanently. Before I put the gasket up there, I got to put the RTV silicone on there that they supply with the kit. This is going to seal the gasket, because I can see the old sealant that's on there, but it's going to seal this gasket so that way air isn't leaking underneath it because it's under a vacuum load, and it helps hold it in place. Let's see, has this come out, or do I have to poke a hole? Oh, nope, it comes right on out. Okay. You don't need a lot. I mean, you just need a nice, consistent bead. It's just like doing gaskets on a car engine or something. So just put one bead right through the center. Depending on how much I have left, you know, I'm gonna get one pass all the way around first, and then I'll do a second bead around it if I have some left over. You know you're becoming an adult when you get excited about the small things like buying a new $400 rubber gasket. Our kiln's been kicking on and off the vacuum anymore, it started seeming like 10 to 15 minutes. It would start to run the vacuum pump again to try to create a seal. And obviously, you know, through time, this last year figured out it's because the door seal is going bad. I got quite a bit, so let's put, I'm gonna run another bead around the edge because I might as well use up what I got. We're just running a nice solid bead just right in the middle of the channel. The other parts I put two beads around. I want ones, and then made sure I had enough, and this last little bit here I left to move my camera to show you. So instead of doing two beads, I'll just do one big fat bead because this is all I need to do to finish it. There we go. Pretty satisfied with that. I mean, I could keep using the can, but I don't think I need to. So I got a nice fat bead, and I like to put the fat bead right in the middle of that channel so it squishes out evenly. You don't want to just squish it or put the bead on, you know, one half of the channel. because then it's gonna squish out towards the edges. You want it right in the middle, so it smashes that product all the way around that channel. Let's set this now, lay this out over here. So I'm gonna start in the middle of the door on this edge, because that's where it had it started before, and I'm gonna work my way across the top. And like I said, the other end I'm gonna trim after. It would be nice, a little mallet. I bet you this is gonna fit. Oh no. That's actually not near as tight as the old stuff, huh? I might show you that here. Let me get a little closer. So I just noticed this putting the new stuff, but let me show you the old stuff. And the way it fit in there. So you can see this old seal, it pushed in there pretty firm. I mean, it actually set in there, but that's because it was all compressed. This will also show you how much it's changed. Now look how loose that is. See that gap? So that's how much it's tightened up from compression. So I'm gonna make sure I set that right in the middle gap. We're gonna start on this side in the middle, because that's where the old one was started. Obviously you would not want to start right in a corner, because your butt joint's gonna not fit good, because it's in the nature of stressing in a corner. So a good distance around the corner to me only makes sense, because then you got solid around the corner. And actually, I'm gonna kind of start this on the top side. I'm just gonna eyeball approximately, because if I put it on the vertical right here, once I get to the top, it's just gonna start kind of peeling itself out. So let's get this top edge first. Plug that right around there, beautiful. I like this color too. Okay, so to keep it from pulling out, because really the goal is once you get that seal on there once, you don't have it keep falling out, because then the sealant kind of just breaks up. So try to hold it up while doing it. 2 guys would help out a lot too. Bead caulking, or sealant, I should say, is kind of holding it up on the back side of it. So once I'm done, I'm gonna shut the door, but I'm not gonna like squish the hell out of it, you know, with the crank handles. I'm just gonna get it nice and snug so it can compress and seal up to this gasket nice and neat. And they they tell you to make sure you not run it for 24 hours, and I would assume so the sealants can adhere correctly. Come on, stop pulling out the bottom. Here, kind of popping the air bubbles in between. And that's the thing too, if you are doing, you know, like what I did where you put more than 1 bead around it, because you want to make sure you had enough. Oh, this is where 2 guys definitely come in handy. Trying to get this last corner wrapped. Come on, stay in there. What I'm gonna do now, holding my leg against that. I don't want it to keep coming in and out of that sealant. Okay, get my handy dandy cutter. And then something else, I guess now I can't show you till I get back up close. But it's just like doing trim work. Your miter that you start with, you want it facing out. I would call it facing out. So that way when you miter your new one, it overlays. Because if I did it backwards where the miter went in, this other one, I'd have to cut it out and then try to bend them and you know, press them in there. But this way, it just lays over top nice and neat. Probably gonna start with it a little long. Okay, so I got a nip for my bottom angle and one for my top angle. Kind of just eyeball that thing on there. Like I said, using a square and pencil or marker would be handy. And I probably should have watched another YouTube video first. I bet you there are some little tricks to cut that nicer, but there we go. Now I believe I left it just a little long. Yep. Because I wanted to play safe. So you can see there. And really I didn't even leave it long because that bottom side is lined up. It's just a little long on the top angle. So really I just need to, looks like clean this up a little bit. Oops, I kind of jacked that up. My bad, whatever. I didn't mean to cut that square right there. Ooh, looks like I got to trim a little back off the whole angle still, so I'm gonna kind of eyeball that, you know? That's why you're watching the YouTube of me doing it, because then you know, oh, look at that idiot. If I watched someone else's YouTube, I bet you iDRY has a YouTube. Probably would have learned it right. All right, you know, do your best and caulk the rest. Isn't that what the phrase is? Call it a day. Let this RTV sealant do its job, and good enough for me, dude. Okay, so I got it all set in there. I mean, you seen that joint wasn't pretty. It's gonna be functional, dude, so I'm happy with it. I mean, I got it all sealed up nice and neat. I have probably about 16 inches of some of it left over. I am gonna keep it because who knows, maybe I did it wrong and it's gonna shrink and I might have to, you know, scab a chunk in there, which is just fine if I put, you know, make sure it's sealed up nice and neat. We're gonna get the door shut overnight. And like I said, when I put it on there, I'm not gonna crank the hell out of it because then it just, all I'm trying to do is just set that sealant on there. I'm gonna shut it nice and easy and pay attention to it. You can see how already it's tight there and tight at the top corner. Naturally, the corners are the part of the box that pushes out the most, and then the center gap, and that's how it was on all four sides. This center gap for about 4 to 5 foot, and when the seal, this rubber, you know, isn't expanding anymore, so that seal really closes off that light right there. So. And then here's the front side of the seal. So it holds the door out substantially further than before. So it takes a lot more work to, man, this reminds me like when I bought it brand new, took 2 guys to do this. So I got to open these locks way out. They're on some threaded rod. Extend it way out to make it easier to catch the door. Let's see if I can get this myself. Holy smokes. All right, that's hot. All right, move that lock back. It's still tight. There we go. Now pull this bottom in till, there we go. Now we tighten them up evenly, and I'm gonna go far enough just till the gasket seals all the way around the perimeter. Oh, see, the bottom fell off already. And you know what, since it fell off a few times, I got a little bit of sealant. I might as well, I can reach. I might as well put a little bit more back on here because I already squished it out a few times, I think. Just so you know, everybody, don't take me as like the iDRY killing door gasket expert. All right, everybody. I think I can get it. I'm gonna make sure I wasn't paying attention to that last time, so I was bouncing that door around, being negligent. Get it in there. Get it in there. Stick good, buddy. Just hold on long enough. Give me a moment. There we go. Got it. Yup. Now let's get it touching before it starts drooping out. All right. Always stretch, everybody. I'm satisfied. That seal is, oh yeah, I can see squishing out some RTV sealant. She's nice. Oh yeah, that's so beautiful. And I like the red seal. The old black seal that's blended in. This red seal is much smarter because before it was hard to visually see because it was black paint, black plastic, a black hairline gap on black metal. And now if this ever started gapping, with it being orange, I'm gonna be able to see that black Caroline gap better. You can see some sealant squished out. That's why I wanna see some up there. So I tightened it up. I didn't crank the hell out of it, but I still had to crank it pretty tight to get it to snug. That stuff looks nice. I really like that red. That was smart iDRY, because you have no idea how much in the past I tried to eyeball that gap to be like, is it gapped? Is it not? I can't tell. It's all black. Okay, so I'm done replacing this gasket on this door. Really, it didn't take me much time. Honestly, like everything, it's twice as long because I got to record it for content and all that stuff. Otherwise, I could have, especially with 2 guys, got this done in like 5 minutes, but a lot more happier. The new orange stuff, look at that. Good and flexible. That stuff's just hard. So I'm gonna let it sit 24 hours. And yeah, we've owned this kiln, gonna be coming up 3 years. It's running nonstop, love this thing. I never really made content on the maintenance and stuff we've done on it, but if you'd love to see more of that, we can definitely continue showing you all the small details about this kiln throughout our time, throughout the next year. If so, let us know, comment below, and subscribe our page and let us know, hey, more videos on the kiln, give us some more on your other equipment, and we'll definitely do our best. So thanks everybody.